Alright, I know these glasses aren't very flattering, but fuck you for making fun of me already for wearing them. Tomorrow is May Day. It coincides with the year anniversary of us killing Osama bin Laden. But for tomorrow, a lot of people are going to be taken to the streets because it is the no work, no school, no clean, no pick your nose, no buy gas, no buy Coca-Cola, whatever day, I guess, tomorrow, May Day. You're going to see a lot of Occupy protesters out there. But today being the 30th, something happened today, which is good because I've been following. I'm going to try and move my phone out the way. If I'm not in camera, oh well, you'll live. Because I want to read this stuff to you. I've been following the Occupy stuff and the protests, especially the Zuccotti Park stuff, and it just bad business all the way around. Well, today some federal lawsuits were filed, and I'm going to read a couple of the big ones. Elected officials and members of the press file civil rights suit against the New York Police Department and JP Chase for arrests relating to the Occupy Wall Street. Federal lawsuit alleges civil rights violated by the New York Police Department and private entities, including JP Chase and Brookfield Properties, asked for a federal independent monitor. April 30th, 2012. Lawyers on behalf of 5 elected officials and over half a dozen members of the press filed a major lawsuit today in federal court alleging the city of New York, the MTA, the New York Police Department, Brookfield Properties, JP Chase, and others are in violation of numerous civil rights, including First Amendment rights to free speech and assembly. The suit seeks redress for police misconduct and arrests made during the Occupy Wall Street protests and asks that a federal independent monitor be appointed to oversee the New York Police Department in order to safeguard the public. The 143-page complaint submitted by a group of civil rights attorneys, including Leo Glickman, Yetta G. Kirkland, and Wiley Stecklow, was filed today in the United States District Court in the Southern District and includes a 24-minute video which highlights the use of excessive force and selective enforcement, which many have claimed has become an issue over the past 6 months during the Occupy protests. You can look that video up for yourself. This is probably a compilation, obviously, highlighting all the worst stuff, I'm assuming. The suit also addresses the city's relationship with JP Chase, who donated $4.6 million to the New York Police Department during this time, and I'll get into that in a second, as well as the fact that members of the press and elected officials have been arrested while observing and or reporting on these protests. One of the plaintiffs, New York City Council member Ydanis Rodriguez, who was bloodied and arrested on November 15, 2011 for attempting to observe the eviction of Zuccotti Park, stated, "While my charges were dismissed, the bigger issue still remains, namely that the NYPD misused their power and did not respect my First Amendment or the New York City Charter, which gave me the right to act as an observer." New York City Council member Latita James, another plaintiff in the suit, stated, "This is all about accountability, but it is also about ensuring that we have a proper balance of powers in this city. People should not be afraid to suffer harm from the police when they express the First Amendment right to assemble." New York City Council member Melissa Mark Vivertio has also joined the suit. She stated, "Some of us in the City Council are looking to address these issues legislatively. In the meantime, we will avail ourselves of the United States Judicial Branch to ask for its help to ensure our police properly protect the public that they are entrusted to serve." And it keeps going on. This guy was a journalist. I was arrested while covering someone else being arrested for complaining about someone else being arrested for doing a mic check. This is not how our police should act. Another lawsuit, specifically concerning the barricading of protesters at a demonstration last November, seeking unspecified damages and an injunction stopping the NYPD from engaging in such tactics. The lawsuit has to do with a demonstration on November 30th outside the Sheraton Hotel in Midtown, where President Obama was giving a speech. The demonstration was peaceful, but after the protesters arrived near the hotel, they were suddenly penned in by police, told they were in a frozen zone, and not permitted to leave until after the president departed. We came to express our views at a place where the president might see us, and were detained for hours as if we had committed a crime. Reporter Andrew Katz said, "One officer actually said I could go into the kettle where the protesters were, but another officer grabbed my arm and said we had to leave the area. 3 officers, including a female officer who gripped her arm around my hip, escorted us a block down to 52nd Street behind a set of barricades. According to the law firms of Rankin and Taylor and Beldock, Levine, and Hoffman, the New York City LU was successful in getting the NYPD to agree to restrictions on the use of barricades in 2008, but their lawsuit alleges that the NYPD has violated these guidelines as well as the U.S. Constitution. Under Commissioner Kelly, the NYPD has considered itself above any restrictions when it comes to political protests, even restrictions it agrees to in front of a federal judge. Whew. So, let's go back to the J.P. Morgan chase. Shortly before the Occupy arrest began happening, J.P. Morgan made a $4.6 million donation to the NYPD. We have to make sure that our police force is making every effort to protect and serve the public, not just the interest of corporations, said Kirkland at a press conference on the steps of City Hall. She was joined by council members Ydanis Rodriguez, Melissa Mark Vivierto, Letitia James, and Jumani Williams, as well as fellow lawyers Leo Glickman and Wiley Stecklow. The suit seeks monetary damages and other compensation not expressly mentioned at the press conference. So, without reading everything, and you can find this stuff for yourself, I just wanted to not get anything wrong. I didn't want to be told to find a minute mark again. So I'm reading, and again, these reporters could be wrong for all I know, but I am seriously hoping that something comes of this. Now, as most of my videos go, the other side is, of course, there's asshats in the Occupy movement. If you do a harder search, a more difficult search, you'll find fucktards pissing and shitting on cop cars. Yeah, seriously, of course, you're going to be arrested. Of course, you're an idiot. I'm not speaking to that. What I'm speaking to are, and I watched the videos as they came out that night. Some of the stuff was broadcast live. It was horrible to see, and obviously excessive force was used when it may not have needed to be. I'm not a police officer, but as a layman, as somebody watching it seemed very excessive to me. And I'm putting this out because it's funny that this is happening the day before supposedly tomorrow is going to be a huge day for the Occupy movement. Who knows if it will be? You can go to the Occupy's websites and look up for different events. They've got events that are legal, that have been sanctioned, that you can attend, low risk, I guess you could call it, and then there's higher risk events that you can attend, where more than likely you may be arrested. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I will be following this tomorrow as it happens, trying to get as much information live as it goes on. But I'm just so glad to see that finally, I don't know why it took this long to get some lawsuits filed against the New York Police Department, because there's definitely some bad apples in there. I mean, seeing a cop just shoving somebody for that person saying something to him is outrageous to me. That's like the most lenient thing you can see. But it just shows that the human psyche, how easy it is to get caught up in something, including the Occupy protesters. Again, I'm not taking a side here, but the difference is the Occupy protesters don't have a badge. They're not there to protect and serve. The police are, and they're there to protect and serve you. They're not there to wield their power in whichever way they see fit without following law. So everybody stay safe tomorrow. Rant over.